Okay, we're recording again. All right. As you noticed, we have the bear back, and we're doing the Mark and Bear show now. I'm autistic. That doesn't mean the same thing. That word has. That's one of the things that. So is Michael. We're both high spectrum autistics, which explains a lot, or it should. You might have noticed Mark's a little different. Um, I've tried to embrace that, but it seems. I mean, I've been socially awkward my whole life. Most of my life, I've been a wallflower. An introvert. I just kind of sit back and watch people. Then, at some point, I went, fuck this shit. I'm tired of being scared to talk to people and stuff. So, anyway, Bear is my friend. This is the representation of Bear. Bear is my friend up in New York. A beautiful soul, but I connected with a few years ago. Oddly, we just became friends after the fact, or after the day he was leaving, when he was moving. That's when we actually became friends. It was weird. But anyway, back to this. I'm very tactile. This calms me. If there is such a thing as Mark being calm, it's not my strong point, that's for sure. But anyway, I was talking to Joe Lawless today, and I actually said something that made sense. And so I thought, you know what, we should film this shit. Anytime that someone says, you know what, that clarified something for me, that made sense. I'm going to try to give you guys more of that, because I got a lot of people that have been watching me for a lot of years now that are just waiting for me to say something that actually makes fucking sense. I really believe that. I've had all kinds of interesting followers, some amazing people, some very successful people, some brilliant minds, and some amazing do-gooders out there that have dedicated their lives to what I'm trying to do, which is inspire others to do great things. Someone just bounced in my window, probably a raccoon. But anyway, if you guys have seen me around, there's a little more bounce to my step again. I've kind of got my music going, and I've been testing out a lot of different sides of myself this last year. And after some painful complaints as to some of my choices, I am kind of reinventing myself for the 100th time, I guess. But that's the whole thing, is when you start reinventing yourself, you got to try some new things, and some things aren't going to work. But one of the biggest things I did was I tried to. I'm an INTJ/INFJ. The I is for introvert, stands for introvert, and I've been trying to be an ENTJ, an ENFJ this entire year. Which the distinction is, in simplest terms, I'm a hypersensitive, hyper-emotional Vulcan. And everything in between. And so that's a lot of the struggles I have with dealing with normal people, is that I feel things a lot more intensely than most, which is a gift at times. I mean, it's amazing to feel everything, but this is just amazing. But there's a price for that. Things hurt more, and we feel everything just intensified. It's amped up. It's more intense, and which has been fine. I had covered all those emotions quite well, but I had a new one interjected into my life this last year that overwhelmed me quite a bit and hurt someone I cared about. And I'm trying to figure out how to undo that, but I guess there's just some things that are unforgivable. I've never done one until now, but apparently I have, so I'm still dealing with that. But anyway, I'm a hypersensitive, caring, compassionate, loving person that thinks he can change the fucking world. And I say those words, and I don't think they seem to resonate. We're inundated with so much bullshit and hyperbole that no one believes anything anymore. They're just words, so we automatically discount anything that's said to us through a bullshit filter, because nothing is real, nothing is true, everything's exaggerated. And then I come along and try to have a conversation with you guys. I mean, in a world full of liars, how do you know who's telling the truth? And my autism gives me a very simplistic, almost childlike view of the world. That, you know, if people aren't being nice, why not? You know, if people are doing bad things, then just stop it. Stop. You know, why do we treat each other so badly? Why are we so scared of each other? And why do we allow people to divide us amongst different tribes? And, you know, I mean, they teach us that. I think they're teaching. I just realized this about a year ago, but they teach it to us in school. This tribalism. I mean, our school colors are blue and white, and theirs are red and gold, and they're our enemy. Anybody wearing those colors is not our tribe. They're different. And it really is that simple. You know, I grew up a huge Oklahoma Sooners fan. I owned 2 stores that sold band merchandise, and I was very guilty of being tribal. OSU and Oklahoma, we were, you know, in Texas and Oklahoma, we were mortal enemies. And the shit we talked. I mean, I opened a store that sold both because I'm a capitalist. And it's discriminating against people that want to buy orange, you know. But that's the thing about those games. I used to be such a big fan, and to the point where if my team lost on Saturday, I was in a shitty fucking mood. I mean, I was, you know, don't talk to me. My team lost, and it's like part of my awakening is the realization of how much of it is just bullshit. How much of the things that we take that we've been convinced are important that really just have so little effect on our real lives, that they become so ingrained in us that we can let a football game destroy our whole weekend and make us yell at our kids and be in a shitty mood and get drunk and yell at our wives, in some cases hit our wives, or in some cases our wives their husbands. I watch the world again through this prism of logic and compassion and love, and I don't understand what we're doing to each other, or the way that we treat each other, or the lack of concern and empathy. I mean, this whole new push, especially on the conservative side, to, you know, take care of yourself. You know, we are not our brother's keeper. I mean, what happened to doing to others? What happened to we're all God's children and we should look out for each other? I look out at the world and it's so obvious that we've lost our way, but why aren't we fighting more to save our way or to get back on path? Instead, we're just allowing people on TV, talking heads, to make us fight with each other and to say, hey, you're on the red team and you're on the blue team, and you guys are mortal enemies, and whatever you do, don't listen to them, and whatever you do, don't listen to them. But make sure you fight with each other. And there's a whole industry built on making sure that we are at each other's throats constantly. I, for one, am just tired of it. I haven't talked to my brother in over 5 years. I don't want to. When I needed him, he let me down. He wasn't there for me. Honestly, and that's how I judge my friends and judge, because if any of you need me for anything, move, whatever. I mean, I have got more compassion for strangers on the street than most of you can realize. It's just, we're all human beings. And unless someone says, you know what we're doing is just not quite good enough. I mean, in my mind, a few years ago, I started doing this little experiment because, well, when you don't have any friends, you got to entertain yourself some way. And so I started thinking, what if I could program myself. Being Vulcan and everything, what if I could transform myself into to at least my version of an ideal human being? What if every time I could be objective enough to look at myself in every action that I took and ask myself, is this what a high quality human being would do? And if it wasn't, then I aimed higher. I raised the bar. So a lot of this stems from the fact that I'm trying to start a conversation with the world. It's this crazy idea I had a few years ago that at some point with the technology we have, if someone said something really, really, really intelligent, they could get an audience. And if you get an audience, then and he was saying really, really intelligent things in a world, in a sea of just ignorance and stupidity and programming, and people just trying to manipulate your minds. What if someone stood up and just started telling the truth, started speaking the truth, with no agenda, no motivation, just the desire for people to get this shit right? What could come of that? If there was one place, one organization, one group of people that just focused on making sure that all of humanity got some unfiltered, no bullshit, no manipulation, just honest fucking truth. Because we're not getting it on our TVs. We're not getting it on our little fucking devices. We're getting scientifically proven ways to manipulate your minds. And we know it. We understand what's going on. You know, we get that our phones now are, you know, using algorithms to sell us stuff. And in some ways it's pretty cool. It's nice to know that Amazon is going like, hey, since you like this, you're probably going to like that. That's pretty cool. And the fact that they can give it to me the next day, usually for like free shipping or $5, or sometimes even that same day. And they haven't got the drones yet. It's amazing. I mean, we're living in this magical, magical time, but we're still stuck on our old, antiquated ways of thinking. One of the books I want to write is called A New Way of Thinking. It's based on one of Einstein's premises that in order for humanity to survive, we are going to have to embrace an entirely new way of thinking. I mean, the old model has failed historically every time. Every time. Rome rose and rose then fell. Civilizations throughout history have risen and fell because we elevate our elites to our leaders. But our elites have no touch with the common man, and therefore they're not us anymore. And the whole concept of democracy is beautiful, but you can't elevate the super wealthy and the super powerful into all the positions of power and expect to have a democracy. You have a theocracy, or I mean, you have a, excuse me, not a theocracy, that's religion. You have an oligarchy or whatever, I don't know what it's called. But you can't have all the people in power making all the rules. The genius or the dream, I guess, of democracy is that all the people can actually have a say in their government. Now, see, the problem we had back when the boys, the founding fathers, got together and designed the best system they possibly could with the tools they had within the confines of the time and the limits of technology. They designed the best system they could. We had to, and that was a representative government. We had to have someone. We all couldn't go to Philadelphia, so we sent one person, and because that's the best we could do. Now, with smartphones, we actually can start challenging that model. We can, as Einstein said, start embracing an entirely new way of thinking. But the problem is, there's too many people profiting and made powerful by the old systems that don't work. And they've been gaming them so long that it doesn't matter that we want to fix this shit. There's too many people that have already bet against us fixing it and bet against us getting along. Because if conservatives and liberals can actually have a conversation, if we haven't been demonized by the other side so much our entire lives that we can't even sit down and talk to each other like rational human beings. And we've already lost people. And in all honesty, if I didn't have children, I'm not sure I would care. I've had an amazing life. I've had a full life. I could die tomorrow and have regrets. I have many regrets, but I've had a full life, and I didn't live it on the hamster wheel. I took chances. I created my own things. I followed my own dreams. I ate ramen and I ate ribeyes. You know. I took the good with the bad. I never conformed. And up until now, until recently, that wasn't really a problem. I mean, all I needed was a good idea, and people would listen, and we could build amazing things together. But at some point, the lies, the hyperbole, the noise, over time, and it's a slow, gradual decline, but people stopped listening to my ideas. They just assumed that my passion was bullshit. And they filtered it out, and I kind of got left out here on an island by myself because I'm a man of ideas, a man of big ideas, a man of big dreams. I'm a leader, I'm a mentor, I'm a teacher. I'm an observer of the world. I am a thinker. I am a man that is never happy, never satisfied with any answer. I need data. I need questions answered. I need to solve puzzles. And more than anything, I need to help create a world that's better for my children than the one I'm leaving them right now. And I'm not doing that. And so to fix that, I'm going to need to organize an army of people. And so Michael and myself, we both had the same vision, the same dream. What if we organized, used this internet thing instead of for just what we had for lunch and pussycats and porn, you know? What if we used it to actually change the world? What if we used it to network? And here's what I mean by that. Just what we're trying to do right now is, and Michael's always started this, we have little groups all over the world. A little Team Canada, Team Asia, Team Yugoslavia, Team Russia, Team USA. All little groups of young people out there. The super smarties, the super geniuses, the ones that will be the caretakers of the next generation. We're trying to network them and organize them in a way that's never been done before. And that's the challenge, is what if you organized all super geniuses together and focused them on solving the world's problems? Is there, it'd be like one giant global think tank, all the greatest minds. I'm not just saying the accomplished PhDs and famous people. I'm talking about the other weirdos like me. The outcasts, the oddballs, the square pegs in the round holes. The ones that see things differently. The ones that think, the ones that are crazy enough to change the world. We're the ones that do. The ones that obsess about impossible things, impossible dreams. The ones that everybody laughs at because they dare buck the status quo. They dare challenge their status in society. There was a time when people looked up to us, and now they laugh at us. They ostracize us. They push us to the side. Think, oh, that guy's a dreamer. How crazy is he? Yeah, well, this world was built on dreamers. And as Lennon said, you may say that I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. And we're going to try to organize the rest of us out there, the ones that still believe that fairy tales can come true, and that the world is what we make of it, not what's been left to us. So anyway, this is my first series, or one of a multitude of series, going to the treehouse in Georgia. It's like 30 meters off the freaking ground. The picture doesn't do it justice. You need to scale. But it's just everything that I do with Michael. It just, I was in Beverly Hills on the 34th floor of a penthouse overlooking the golf course. We partied at the top of the Beverly Hills with John down at New Republic Studios. I met all these amazing people. When I came back, because I couldn't really have face-to-face conversations with many of you, and the ones I did were at work, where we were on time restraints, and I just had so much to tell you that I came across as a manic mess. And I was, honestly. I came back, my dad died, my finances were in shit, my friends had all pretty much abandoned me. I had other friends who were battling cancer, and other friends that were just watching me implode a little bit. One of these days, I got to tell you guys about a special friend that got me through this stuff. Now's not the time, but I owe a great debt there and a great apology, and one day, hopefully, I'll be able to find the words or find the actions to have something that I guess was unforgivable forgiven. But anyway, I'm heading to Georgia, I guess. I'm going to the treehouse. I posted some pics earlier. A year ago, I had a friend, and they saw what a dreamer I was, and it seemed to be kind of cool to them. And a year later, somehow I went from that dreamer sitting at that table talking to this new friend to actually a year later being positioned to maybe do something amazing with people that I can't even believe that one, I met, or two, have embraced me so lovingly. I'm sorry I didn't fit in better with you guys. I'm an oddball, I am, but I do care about you guys, and I do want to see your futures made brighter by this association. So anyway, I'm going to be going to Georgia, and we're going to be starting some things, and I would love to stay in contact with you, some of you guys, and maybe network and do some big things together. And maybe, ironically, you guys can ironically, you can get to know me after I leave instead of while I was here. Because in all honesty, I'm just figuring out what the hell I am myself, and sometimes it takes a little trauma and some life crises and things just blowing the fuck up to find yourself, to find your peace, to find your calm. And that's really what I want for all of us, is just to live a life that we value and honor and feel like that it's worth living. I mean, once you have kids, life's worth living regardless. You live it through their eyes. But what if we could actually leave them a better world than we're leaving them right now? Anyway, there's some people that are trying to do that right now. I got friends that have resources and access and power and all the tools we need to actually do something amazing. And so it's my tribe. It's what I've been looking for forever. But you're my family too. And, for 9 years I've been here, and met some interesting people and had some odd times as well. Anyway, I don't want to ramble on any longer. I'm sure I'm already way the fuck. 25 minutes. Yeah, I've did it again. Anyway, I don't know what's going to happen next. I just know that I'm trying to manifest my own destiny, and I've somehow positioned myself to possibly do that, to enter into a different world where there are no impossible dreams. There are, you just need to call the right people and make the right things happen, and next thing you know, boom, it went from here to the real world. And pause. I love my bear. Anyway, peace, love, whatever.